So far into this season, the Thunder have been showing that they're here to stay, and just how deadly they could be after a few more years of development. Of course, the Thunder's ascent wasn't exactly hard to see coming prior to this season. Emerging megastar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who earned first-team All-NBA recognition last season, spearheaded a promising young roster, resulting in a remarkable 16-win improvement from the season prior. However, there exists a distinction between having faith in a team's potential on paper and witnessing their success in actual NBA games night in, night out. We seem to be watching the start of the Thunder stacking up more and more wins that might not have been possible a year prior. With a 3-3 record already, the Thunder seem primed for a great season and are now starting to resemble a true force in the NBA. Despite encountering a few early losses where their combined three-point shooting was a bit shaky, the introduction of rookie Chet Holmgren has brought clarity to the team's goals and direction. His exceptional performance on both ends of the court has the potential to fast-track their journey to contention. Although they haven't played a ton of games, Holmgren appears to be an ideal fit for the Thunder, meeting the massive expectations they had when they selected him as the second overall pick in the 2020 draft. He embodies the modern prototype of a versatile and mobile two-way big man that every team is trying to get their hands on. Although he had to sit all of last year with a foot injury, the 7-footer has come in and looked extremely solid, averaging 17 points and 7 rebounds a game, with astonishing shooting percentages that include a 3-point percentage of 56. On top of that, he's up there with the best blockers this season, getting an impressive 2.3 blocks per contest. While these numbers might not be sustainable for the whole season, it does give us a window into Chet's unlimited potential. While Chet's emergence is the eye-popping story of the Thunder's season so far, and Shai has already solidified himself as the Thunder's guy, we can't forget about young studs Jalen Williams and Josh Giddey. Second-year Jalen Williams has had a decent start to the season, and his development is a potential game changer. His performance in his debut season hinted at stardom on the horizon, and if that level of play improves and carries over to the entirety of this season, he could attain full-fledged stardom sooner than anticipated. In the previous season, Williams as a rookie maintained an average of 14.1 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game. He even featured as a starter in 62 games, and managed to fit in perfectly, which can be hard for a rookie. While Jalen Williams may not be the foremost name that springs to mind when contemplating the Oklahoma City Thunder, he unmistakably has the potential for stardom. Williams' deep understanding of the game and his knack for penetrating defenses aligns seamlessly with Gilgeous-Alexander and the rest of the squad. We can't even hate on his defense as a rookie either. His proficiency on both ends of the court is perfect for the modern NBA. Guard Josh Giddey is also looking poised for a breakout. Last year, he displayed clear improvements in scoring efficiency and production compared to his rookie season 1 year before that. While he faced some initial skepticism due to occasional subpar shooting performances, his overall progress shone through as the season advanced. Notably, he reduced his three-point attempts while increasing his shooting percentage beyond the arc and from the field, demonstrating his commitment to becoming a more efficient scorer. It's worth noting that Giddey isn't known for his pull-up three-point shots, as he struggled with these attempts last season. Nonetheless, he is wisely focused on his strengths and adapted his shot selection accordingly. Looking ahead in the upcoming season, Giddey may face fewer scoring opportunities with such a deep team of young guys looking to prove themselves. His role and development as a playmaker mixed with his ability to limit turnovers will be crucial for the Thunder's offensive stability and half-court execution.
With the unreal stack of talent that OKC's been able to gather, it was a question for about the past 2 seasons if it's finally going to be the year that OKC would get competitive. With last season being SGA's real breakout year, averaging over 30 a game, but as a team they came out pretty sluggish, being 4-6 through the first 10 games and going through the rest of the season with not too much changing. But it was clear that they had hit once again in the draft, as there was some breakout performances from Jalen Williams, who really escalated his play at the end of the season. And going into this year, where it had seemed that Chet was finally ready to make his debut, so many people assumed that this was going to be the year for the young OKC team to start being a real problem. And so far, they've had a pretty decent start to the season, going 3-3, but truthfully the record doesn't really show the cohesion of the team, as they've been able to put together a pretty positionless team, which has opened up a lot of possibilities for how they can run the floor together. Last year, they made a use of a lot of screens and pick and rolls, having their point guard SGA set picks for bigger guys like Giddey, who has the ability to dish it off or drive to the basket. And now with the addition of Chet, this really opens the floor up even more. as this team now has a legit 7-footer that moves like a guard and isn't afraid to pull up from 3 and be efficient while doing so far averaging 52% from 3, while also getting it done on defense, holding his matchups to an average of 46% from the field and only 33% from 3. So he should definitely be one of the major anchors on defense this year. I mean, he's already had flashes of greatness after only 4 games in the league, where he was able to swat away 7 shots while also grabbing 13 rebounds and 16 points. And then you look at other players like Jalen Williams, who should only be up from here, as he's kept that same hot streak he ended the season with last year, being somewhat of a Swiss Army knife for this team. And Josh Giddey, who's been playing with the confidence of a vet, even though it's only his 3rd season in the league, and still being only 21 years old. He's an unconventional playmaker for this team while still being very efficient on the glass and able to get you 15 points, pretty much guaranteed if you need it. And one of his other strange positives is probably being the best inbounds passer in the entire league right now. And of course, everyone's familiar with SGA's game as he continues to progress, as everyone recently likes to compare Booker to SGA without taking into consideration that Shea is 2 years younger, so there's a possibility he's still not even in his full prime yet. So OKC definitely has all the pieces, but again, the question really is when this team is going to take form. Presumably, it's not going to be this season. It would be extremely rare if this new and still young team was able to figure out how to play together that quickly and become a real threat. This kind of seems more similar to the 09-2010 Thunder team, who was still young but managed to find their way into the first round of the playoffs to get some experience before coming back next year to dominate. I mean, overall, it's hard to say exactly what the future holds for this team, as we're increasingly see players dictate their futures, and although it does seem that SGA is happy with the Thunder, his mind might start to change if he continues to improve while this team somehow doesn't end up pulling it all together. Not to mention the fact that the new CBA does put some pretty hefty penalties in place for teams that exceed the salary cap past the second apron. And with a well-rounded team like this one and the increase in player pay, it's sure to force the Thunder's hand into going past those aprons and pay the luxury tax if they want to keep this team together. Something they haven't done since 2018, and it's not really like that team was the most successful, but only time will tell how this team plays out. If you made it this far in the video, give it a like. While you're down there, you might as well just subscribe so you don't miss another video, and we'll see you next Sunday.